A slow breath slipped past my lips as steady hands helped me upward. The movement effortless. Sure, the space around me shifted before my back met something softer. A change I barely had time to register. Abed the room was quiet, the air carrying something unspoken. A voice broke the silence. Smooth yet unreadable, a pause followed. Heavy with the weight of the moment, and then everything changed. Before we jump in, please do me a quick favor. Like this video and hit subscribe. It's fast, easy, and makes a huge difference. Plus, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Now let's get started. My body was warm, restless, with an energy I couldn't ignore. My fingers trailed over the thin fabric of my robe, teasing slow, enjoying the quiet indulgence. It wasn't enough, I wanted more. The house was silent, no one to hear. No one to interrupt buzz. The vibration of my phone against the nightstand jolted me. I sighed, reaching for it, ready to ignore whatever late-night notification had ruined the moment. Until I saw the name on the screen. My son-in-law were nearby. Mind if we stop by for a drink? Not just him, them. I sat up, pulse still unsteady, rereading the message. I wasn't expecting company. Certainly not them, it was late. I wasn't dressed for guests, and I wasn't in the mood for small talk. I started to ignore it, but another message flashed across the screen. Come on, don't be boring. We won't stay long, I exhaled slowly. Boring, he always said that. He knew exactly how to get under my skin. Fine. All right, but just one drink. 15 minutes later, I stood in the kitchen, wine glass in hand when the knock came. The moment I opened the door, I felt something was different. My son-in-law's smirked eyes flicking over me in a way I couldn't ignore. His friends stood just behind him watching, their presence heavier than it should have been. And when they stepped inside, too confident, too comfortable, I knew this wasn't just a casual visit. I should have told them to leave, but I didn't. I shut the door behind them, and the night began. I placed the wine bottle on the table, my fingers curling against the glass. Their voices hummed around me, but I wasn't really listening. The air felt charged, heavier than before. Not just from the heat, but from them. I poured my drink first, slow, deliberate. My son-in-law stretched back into the couch, his movements easy, relaxed, like he had all the time in the world. His friends, though, they were watching me, didn't think you'd actually say yes. My son-in-law mused, swirling the amber liquid in his glass. Figured you'd tell us to go find somewhere else to drink. I scoffed, lifting my glass. I almost did one of his friends lean. Sharp eyes tilted his head. So why didn't you? I met his gaze over the rim of my glass. But I didn't answer. A quiet smirk played at his lips before he leaned back unconcerned. Another one, broader, quieter, tilted his drink toward me, his eyes steady. You always this quiet. I exhaled softly. Depends on the company. A grin, and what kind of company are we? I should have laughed, brushed it off, but I didn't. A hand brushed mine when I passed the bottle across the table. The touch should have been fleeting, but it wasn't. Neither of us moved away. A second stretched too long before I finally pulled back. Relax, my son-in-law murmured. Voice dipping lower, we're just having a drink. His fingers tapped against the rim of his glass, slow, deliberate. The ice had already cracked, and there was no stopping what came next. The wine had settled in my veins, but that wasn't the only thing warming me. It was them, the way they sat around me. Their presence undeniable now. The way their attention never drifted. Each glance heavier than before. I ran a slow fingertip over the rim of my glass. Not for them, but for myself. Just to feel something under my touch. A chuckle. You're quiet, the man beside me murmured. Voice low enough that only I could hear. I tilted my head, a small smirk teasing at my lips. Observant, aren't you? He held my gaze. Didn't expect that from someone who invited us in this late. I let my eyes flick between them, feeling the weight of their attention. I didn't shrink from it, I let them look. Maybe you don't know what to expect from me. A hum of approval from across the room. I think we're starting to... The bottle shifted across the table. A hand reached for it as he poured. His fingers skimmed the inside of my thigh. Not by accident, I could have ignored it. Could have shifted away, broken the moment before it went further. I didn't. Instead, I parted my legs just enough for him to notice. His breath hitched not much, but I caught it, the corner of his lips curled slow and knowing. She likes a little trouble. Someone murmured it wasn't a tease. It was a fact. His hand slid higher, fingers teasing just beneath the hem of my robe. My pulse jumped, but I didn't stop him. I leaned in, and then his lips brushed against mine just once. Just enough to feel the warmth of him, the taste of wine lingering between us. I tilted my chin up, parting my lips slightly. An invitation, and then the restraint shattered. The kiss deepened, urgent and unrestrained. His hand tightened against my thigh as my breath hitched. My fingers curled into the fabric of his shirt, pulling him closer, letting him take what he wanted. A presence shifted beside me. I felt the weight of another gaze, the way the air thickened. Around us, I knew we weren't alone. And I liked it. The warmth of his kiss still tingled on my lips, a quiet hum beneath my skin. But before I could catch my breath, another presence moved in closer, more deliberate. A slow inhale escaped me as lips brushed the curve of my neck. Lingering testing. Each breath sent the faintest shiver along my spine, a whisper of warmth and anticipation curling through me. Hands strong, sure, trailed along my sides, their touch weightless yet intentional. A feather-light press of fingertips traced the dip of my waist. A silent exploration that left my stomach tightening in response. A soft exhale parted my lips, my body acutely aware of every shift, every movement surrounding me. Another touch, this time lower, the faintest graze against my thigh. The gesture was unhurried, testing the space between us, lingering just enough to leave a question in its wake. The answer was already clear. A low murmur stirred the air near my ear, the voice laced with quiet amusement. Told you, she'd love this. I didn't need to speak. My body had already answered. My breath came quicker as I leaned into them, drawn by the weight of their presence, the way their hands wandered. Each touch unhurried yet deliberate. A slow path of lips trailed over my shoulder. Following the curve of my collarbone, a teasing scrape of teeth sent a ripple through me, a sensation that deepened as fingertips followed, leaving behind a map of warmth and quiet tension. Between the blur of movement and the press of bodies, my fingers sought him, one of them. I wasn't even sure who anymore, but I felt the sharp inhale beneath my palm, the way his muscles tensed under my touch. And just like that, something shifted. No hesitation, no second guessing. I was surrounded, enveloped in a space where instinct took over, where every glance exchanged between them carried an unspoken agreement. Their hands explored, memorizing, learning. The moment unraveled slowly, seamless and immersive, leaving nothing but sensation. A shift, 1 second, I was against the couch. The next, steady hands guided me upward. My body followed without thought, the movement effortless, unhurried. A softer surface met my back before I even registered the change. A bed? A quiet breath slipped past my lips, my pulse thumping beneath my skin. But before I could even take another breath, they were with me again, and this time, the moment had no barriers left to hold it back. The bed barely had time to settle beneath me before warmth surrounded me, drawing me deeper into the moment. Lips met mine, unhurried at first, then growing more certain. A silent conversation carried in every movement. the gentle pressure of fingers traced along my robe, easing the fabric aside with measured intent. A slow shiver coursed through me as the material slipped away, gliding over my skin before it rested somewhere unseen. The shift in sensation made my breath catch, anticipation threading through every inch of me. I exhaled softly, letting my head sink back as a quiet murmur brushed against my ear. Low smooth, threaded with something undeniable, even better than I imagined. A warmth stirred deep inside me as hands explored, unhurried yet deliberate, mapping the contours of my form with careful reverence. My fingers curled into the sheets as their touch deepened, the movement seamless as if they had always known me this way. The steady press of hands against my waist anchored me, grounding me in the rising intensity between us. A slow inhale, a breath released in measured control, and then a heat spread through me, deliberate and encompassing, settling into my very core, making my senses sharpen, my awareness heighten. The rhythm of their touch shifted, measured yet certain, every movement flowing effortlessly into the next, drawing me into a connection that felt both new and familiar. All at once, lips found mine again, capturing the quiet sounds that slipped between us. A firm hand tilted my chin, a thumb grazing along my bottom lip, an unspoken invitation waiting for a response. I answered without hesitation, deepening the connection, allowing the warmth to build between us. Fingers combed through my hair, drawing me closer, breaths mingling in the space between. The energy between us coalescing into something seamless. Everything felt fluid, instinctive, effortless. A deep inhale left him as he lingered for a moment, letting the weight of the sensation settle before easing away. The warmth still pulsed beneath my skin, my body attuned to every shift. A moment passed, just enough for anticipation to bloom again. Before I could process it, another presence took over, their touch different yet equally certain, setting a new rhythm this time. The pace was exploratory, savoring, appreciating, making every second stretch with intent. A quiet sound left me, my fingers curling against the fabric beneath me, as I yielded to the shift, letting them guide me through every new sensation. The bed shifted beneath us, the air thick with warmth, the energy moving between us palpable. A presence leaned in breath, teasing the sensitive skin near my ear. The words spoken smooth and certain, carrying a quiet promise, we're just getting started. Fingers drifted along my arm, grounding me in the moment. Another kiss deeper, this time more knowing, set a new tempo, pulling me further into the indulgence of it all. I allowed myself to be guided effortlessly, surrendering to the pull, to the way their movements aligned. Attuned, every transition smooth and fluid. There was no rush, no hesitation. Every part of me was surrounded, immersed. Held in the warmth of them, hands glided lower, deliberate yet patient, mapping the curves of my body with quiet appreciation, ensuring that every touch, every shift resonated fully. A mouth traced a slow path along my shoulder, lingering in the hollow just below, sending a quiet shiver through me. I was lost in it, the shifting momentum, the way everything aligned in perfect harmony, as though it had always been meant to be this way. There was no stopping now. The movement grew more consuming, the energy between us building, drawing me higher, carrying me deeper. A slow breath hitched in my throat as hands traced along my form. The connection between us deepening, every motion flowing seamlessly into the next. One of them moved, lower fingers pressing gently, coaxing me to remain exactly where I was, ensuring that I felt every nuance of the moment. A satisfied murmur filled the space around us as the intensity climbed, every shift in pace carrying an unspoken understanding. The warmth spread deeper, growing, threading through every inch of me, taking hold completely. A deep, reverberating sound left him as my body responded, drawn into every lingering touch. Every wave of sensation, the moment expanded, all-consuming, pulling me fully into its grasp. I let go completely, allowing the tension to dissolve, unraveling in waves that coursed through me, every part of me attuned to the rhythm between us. The warmth lingered, refusing to fade, moving through me in steady pulses, unrelenting in its hold, carrying me further until everything slowed. Everything settled, everything stilled. I collapsed onto the sheets, chest rising and falling, my breath still unsteady, my body still humming with the weight of everything we had shared. Soft touches still drifted along my skin, lazy, indulgent. As though they weren't quite ready to let go, fingers trailed idly over my hip, tracing delicate patterns as if imprinting the moment into memory. A mouth pressed a lingering kiss against my shoulder. A presence settling close beside me, radiating warmth, a low voice. Smooth and teasing murmured near my ear, "Think that's enough for tonight." Most people wouldn't even believe this could happen. But if it were you, would you stop it or let it unfold? Be honest if you were in this moment. Would you step away or stay right where you are? Maybe even take it further. I want to hear it. Drop your answer in the comments. And before you go, don't forget to like this video and hit subscribe. It's free. Takes just a second and ensures you never miss what's coming next. Turn on the notification bell. Trust me, you won't want to be late for the next story. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.